What if I told you that beneath the peaceful countryside on the Franco-Swiss border, scientists are conducting experiments that could literally tear apart the fabric of reality itself? What if the world's most powerful machine isn't searching for answers about the universe, but actively trying to destroy it? Welcome back to Paradox and Perceptions. Today, we're diving deep into CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, and the Large Hadron Collider, a 27-kilometer ring of superconducting magnets buried 100 meters underground. But this isn't just another science story. This is about what they're not telling you. Let's start with what CERN wants you to believe. According to their official website, CERN's mission is noble, even inspiring. They claim to probe the fundamental structure of particles that make up everything around us using the world's largest and most complex scientific instruments. The Large Hadron Collider, which first started up on September 10, 2008, accelerates particles to near the speed of light before smashing them together in violent collisions. Inside this massive underground ring, two high-energy particle beams travel in opposite directions through separate beam pipes kept at ultra-high vacuum. These beams are guided by 1,232 dipole magnets, each 15 meters long, and 392 quadrupole magnets that focus the beams with incredible precision. To give you perspective on just how precise, CERN describes it as firing two needles 10 kilometers apart with such precision that they meet halfway. The whole system is chilled to minus 271.3 degrees Celsius, colder than outer space, using liquid helium to maintain superconductivity. At 4 collision points around the ring, massive detectors, ATLAS, CMS, ALICE, and LHCb, along with 5 other experiments, analyze the particles produced by these collisions. Their stated goal? To understand the fundamental laws of nature, to discover new particles, to unlock the secrets of the universe's origin. They even claim one of their greatest achievements was discovering the Higgs Boson in 2012, the so-called God particle that gives mass to all matter. Sounds impressive, right? Sounds like humanity reaching for the stars, pushing the boundaries of knowledge. But what if that's exactly what they want you to think? Let me show you something they can't explain away. Standing prominently outside CERN's headquarters is a 2-meter-tall statue of Shiva, the Hindu god of destruction. Not a god of creation, not a god of knowledge or wisdom. Shiva, the destroyer, the god who performs the cosmic dance of destruction to make way for new creation. Now, CERN will tell you this was simply a gift from the Indian government in 2004, symbolizing the cosmic dance of subatomic particles. But think about that for a moment. Of all the symbols they could have chosen to represent their work, of all the imagery available, they chose the god of destruction. This isn't subtle. This is hiding in plain sight. The statue shows Shiva in his Nataraja form, performing the Tandava, the dance that destroys the universe at the end of each cosmic cycle. One of Shiva's hands holds the drum that beats the rhythm of creation and destruction. Another hand holds the fire that will consume the world. You don't put a statue of the destroyer outside your facility unless destruction is part of the plan. So, if they're not really searching for the God particle, what are they actually doing? Here's my theory, and stay with me, because this goes deep. What if CERN isn't trying to understand the universe? What if they're trying to break it? Think about the Mandela effect. Thousands, maybe millions of people around the world remember things differently than they supposedly happened. We remember Berenstain Bears as Berenstain Bears. We remember a movie called Shazam, starring Sinbad, that apparently never existed. We remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s when he actually died in 2013. These aren't just false memories. These are glitches, tears in the fabric of reality itself. And when did these Mandela effects start becoming widespread? Right around 2008, the same year the LHC was first activated. Here's what I think is really happening. CERN is attempting to create an unfathomable occurrence, an event so unprecedented, so impossible, that the simulation we live in cannot predict or produce it naturally. They're trying to create a paradox that breaks the code of reality itself. You see, if we live in a simulation, and there's a growing number of physicists who believe we do, then that simulation runs on rules, on code, on predictable quantum mechanics. But what happens when you create an event that violates those rules? What happens when you smash particles together with such force at such speeds that you create conditions that shouldn't exist? The simulation glitches, reality fractures, the matrix breaks down, and those Mandela effects, those are the glitches. Those are the cracks forming in our simulated reality every time they fire up that machine and push the boundaries of what the simulation can handle. CERN claims they're colliding particles to study them. But look at the language they use. They talk about tearing apart particles, about creating mini black holes, about accessing other dimensions. They're not studying the universe, they're attacking it. Remember, this machine operates at energies never before achieved by humanity. They're creating temperatures 100,000 times hotter than the core of the Sun. They're recreating conditions that haven't existed since microseconds after the Big Bang. They're literally playing with the fundamental code of existence. Now, you might think this sounds like science fiction, but let me remind you of something. In the Futurama episode All the Way Down, Professor Farnsworth and the crew attempt to prove they're living in a computer simulation. How? By creating an event so complex, so computationally impossible, that the simulation would crash trying to process it. The writers of Futurama weren't just making a joke. They were revealing a truth that's been hidden in plain sight. If you want to prove you're in a simulation, or if you want to destroy that simulation, you create an impossible event. And that's exactly what CERN is doing. They're not searching for the God particle. They're attempting to kill God, or at least to destroy the world that God, or the programmers, or whatever higher power you believe in, created. Think about it. What better way to rebel against a creator than to break their creation? What better way to prove that we're not bound by divine or programmed laws than to shatter those laws completely? The statue of Shiva isn't a coincidence. It's a declaration of intent. They're performing the cosmic dance of destruction, and we're all watching it happen, thinking it's just science. So what happens next? CERN continues to push forward. According to their own website, they're constantly increasing the luminosity and power of the LHC. They're planning upgrades, the high luminosity LHC, that will make the collisions even more powerful, even more destructive. Each time they fire up that machine, each time they smash those particles together at near light speed, they're taking another crack at the foundation of reality. They're creating more glitches, more Mandela effects, more tears in the fabric of our simulated existence. And maybe, just maybe, one day they'll succeed. One day they'll create that unfathomable event that the Matrix can't handle. One day the simulation will crash and everything we know will cease to exist. The question is that their goal? Are they trying to free us from the simulation, or are they trying to destroy us all? I'll let you decide. But next time you hear about CERN making a breakthrough or discovering something new, remember the statue of Shiva standing guard outside their facility. Remember the god of destruction dancing his cosmic dance. And ask yourself, what are they really destroying down there, 100 meters beneath the Earth? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think CERN is trying to break the simulation? Have you experienced any Mandela effects since 2008? This has been Paradox and Perceptions. If this video made you think twice about what's really happening at CERN, hit that like button and subscribe for more truth that they don't want you to know. Until next time, question everything. Because the truth is stranger than they want you to believe.